At least the ones for this month. Clerk will call the roll.
Glenn Whitley, County Judge.
Here.
Royce C. Brooks, Commissioner Precinct 1.
Present.
Andy H. Wynn, Commissioner Precinct 2.
Here.
Gary Fickus, Commissioner Precinct 3.
Here.
J.D. Johnson, Commissioner Precinct 4.
Here.
Constitutes a quorum.
Thank you. Our invocation this morning will be delivered by our chaplain, Dave Barrett. After the invocation, please remain standing for our pledges.
We bow in prayer. Almighty God, the greatest gift any of us have is the gift of the good people you have put in our path. It is the contribution of others that allows us to be the best we can be as individuals. Whether it be family, friends, a chance meeting, or the people we work with every day, we are all made better by the influence of others. Tarrant County has been blessed with a wonderful group of people that work hard every day to see that the citizens' business is taken care of. All of the people who work the various jobs in the many departments that make up Tarrant County government are touching lives and making them better every day. They not only influence each other, but countless others whom they will never know and who will never know their name. On this Employee Appreciation Day, we ask you to bless all of our employees and their families. May they feel your smile and know, no matter the place or hours of their labor, they are seen and appreciated. We especially acknowledge those employees who have died since our last Appreciation Day. Rebecca Cox, Juvenile Services. Jerry Jennings, Sheriff's Office. Carol Joyner, District Attorney's Office. Susan Riley, Information Technology. Jorge Rosas, District Attorney's Office. And Ronald Springer, the Sheriff's Office. May their souls rest in peace and their families find comfort in the importance of who they were and the influence they had. For this day in this courtroom, on the front lawn later, and in every place of county business, we pray your special blessings upon each employee, and we humbly ask that all of us then will walk and work worthy of that blessing. In your name, amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible. Thank you, Dave. Manius, agenda announcements.
Report on the administrator section, item 9A1. We're going to ask that that be held until after close today. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Court members, you have
of the April 17th minutes.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the minutes. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously. We have several resolutions and proclamations today. The first that we have is the National Day of Prayer, and I'll read it. I believe Miss Vicki Phillips is here. Come on down. Thank you very much for being here today. Whereas the National Day of Prayer and prayer for our nation predates the founding of the United States of America, evidenced by the Continental Congress's proclamation in 1775, setting aside a day of prayer with the belief that prayer was a vital foundation to every endeavor in life, especially in forming a nation. And whereas in 1952, both houses of Congress unanimously passed a joint resolution establishing an official day of prayer signed by President Harry Truman, and whereas by proclamation in 1965, Lyndon Baines Johnson stated, "I remind all Americans of the line from the Star-Spangled Banner, 'In God is our trust.' These are not just ringing words of poetry. They reflect the very soul of our great nation, our purpose, as well as our source of greatness. And whereas Congress permanently designated the first Thursday in May as the annual National Day of Prayer, and the law was signed by President Ronald Reagan in 1988, and whereas in April 2011, the U.S. Seventh Supreme Court of Appeals upheld the 1952 Congressional Act proclaiming the annual National Day of Prayer to be observed in our nation, and whereas the theme of the 61st Annual National Day of Prayer is One Nation Under God, and the theme scripture is Psalm 32:12, Blessed is the nation whose God is the Lord, and whereas during this election year, we collectively pray for God's guidance as we seek to ensure our future blessings by praying and voting for righteous leaders to lead our nation and community, while Proverbs 29:2 reminds that when the righteous rule, the people rejoice. And whereas we ask God to watch over our nation, give us his favor and blessing to protect our people, our liberties, and those who serve us at home and abroad, as well as the families of those serving us, and may the outpouring of prayers produce continued blessings, prosperity, and wisdom for our leaders on our land and its citizens, and secure the future for generations. Now, therefore, be it resolved that we, the Commissioners' Court of Tarrant County, do recognize Thursday, May the 3rd, 2012, as the 61st Annual National Day of Prayer in Tarrant County. In witness whereof, we've heretofore set our hands and caused the seal of Tarrant County to be affixed this first day of May, 2012. I'll move with approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Please vote. Motion passes unanimously. Our photographer must be outside. So I will just give you this flag and let you speak.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you, Commissioner, and I just want to thank you all for giving us this honor today by presenting this resolution to Tarrant County National Day of Prayer. You know, when God created us, he put within all of us the ability to have the finest communication line that's ever existed before the internet, and that's the ability to offer up a prayer to God. Our nation began based on prayer. The founding fathers offered those prayers up, and we as citizens today still offer up those same prayers to ask God to lead us and direct us. And in this year of change in our nation, a time of voting, it's a critical time for every person in Tarrant County to pray and to vote and to ask God for his guidance and direction. Thank you.
Thank you very much for being here today. Commissioner Brooks.
Thank you, Your Honor. I have two proclamations for ratification only. The first honors the centennial celebration for Glen Garden Country Club, the oldest country club in Tarrant County, where both Ben Hogan and Byron Nelson caddied at one time. I will move ratification of that proclamation.
We have a motion and a second for the ratification of both of the.
No, I was doing
Just me. Okay, for proclamation regarding Glen Garden Centennial Celebration. Please vote. Motion passes unanimously.
The second has already been presented. It recognizes the 35th anniversary of the Tarrant County Black Historical and Genealogical Society, a group to whom this court has always offered monetary support. So I move approval of that resolution as well.
We have a motion and a second. Please vote. Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You bet. Commissioner Fickus.
Thank you. Very honored today to be able to present a congratulatory proclamation to Metroport Meals on Wheels and the Dallas-Fort Worth Marriott Solana Hotel. whereas, and Mary Keene, would you please come forward? And I'll come down there in a moment after I read this. So, Mary's Executive Director of Metroport Meals on Wheels. Whereas on April 1st, 1980, Roanoke Meals on Wheels was born when Miss Kelly Bradley assembled a group of volunteers who began cooking meals in their homes to deliver to 5 elderly residents in Roanoke. And whereas in April of 1992, the Dallas-Fort Worth Marriott Solana Hotel became the centralized kitchen for Roanoke Meals on Wheels and began serving 10 meals a day for Roanoke seniors. And whereas in 1995, the organization had become known as Metroport Meals on Wheels, and the Marriott Solana was providing 60 meals a day that were delivered to seniors in Colleyville, Grapevine, Southlake, Roanoke, Trophy Club, and Westlake, plus meals for Metroport Senior Center luncheons in Roanoke and Southlake. And whereas Marriott Solana has provided continuous service to Metroport Meals on Wheels since 1992 at a nominal cost that has enabled Metroport Meals on Wheels to meet an otherwise unrecognized need to feed hungry citizens in our area. And whereas, in addition to providing food for the meals, Marriott Solana's employees embraced Metroport Meals on Wheels' mission and expanded its capacity to serve seniors. And whereas over the past 20 years, from the general managers to the food and beverage directors to the chefs to Cielo hostesses, Marriott Solana's commitment to Metroport Meals on Wheels and senior citizens has been exemplary. Now, therefore, be it resolved that we, the Commissioners Court of Tarrant County, on the occasion of the 20th anniversary of their partnership with Metroport Meals on Wheels, do hereby recognize the Dallas-Fort Worth Marriott Solana for its corporate citizenship and commend their partnership for providing over 115,000 meals for Metroport Meals on Wheels participants. In witness whereof, we have hereto set our hands and cause the seal of Tarrant County to be affixed this first day of May. I move approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Please vote. Motion passes unanimously. Thank you, Mary, for all y'all did.
Judge Whitley and Commissioners, thank you so much for the ongoing support that you provide so that Metroport Meals on Wheels can be there for citizens of Northeast Tarrant County who, because of either medical or physical limitations, cannot provide their own meals. We are here to serve your citizens, and we appreciate your assistance in doing so. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Now we come to our employee recognition time of the month, and obviously the meeting in May also includes our Employee Appreciation Days. So in addition to being recognized for those folks that are celebrating this month, you can also get a hot dog outside afterwards. And you have an opportunity to buy some herbs or different, I guess, plants and different other things out there. So it's a great day. I will begin by reading your name. We'll start with the 5-year employees. When you hear your name or facsimile thereof, stand and then remain standing until that group is complete. So again, we're going to start with the 5-year employees. Eddie Farmer with Information Technology. Eddie. Patricia Mosca, District Clerk. Carolyn Norwood, Public Health. Saw Zhu, Sheriff Confinement. Ronnie Sanders, Sheriff Courtesy Patrol. And Lynn Self, Sheriff Courtesy Patrol. Let's give these 5-year employees. Thank y'all. Y'all can be seated. I would like to say to these folks in the Courtesy Patrol, I see y'all out all the time, and I get more and more compliments from the job that you did and that you do and you continue to do. Very much appreciate that. And I would say prior to the time that the Sheriff's Department took that over, it was being handled by the Texas Department of Public Safety. And we got information from them about the number of, stops, and we're blowing them out of the water. I mean, it is nothing compared to what our folks are doing, and I think it speaks to their diligence about being out on the road and helping folks. I oftentimes see them out there, and that's it's a dangerous job. And we appreciate very much what y'all do, and thank you for your efforts. And please convey that to the rest of the folks that are doing that every day. Now for our 10-year employees: Teresa Bryant, County Clerk; Denise Buchan, Probate Court Number 2; Jeanette Carter Harvey, Tax Office; Carol Chapman, Sheriff Confinement; Leonard Chapman, Sheriff Confinement; Willie Collier, Sheriff Confinement; Stan Kuhn, Information Technology; Robert Dominguez, Juvenile Services; Becky Feinstead, District Clerk; let's see, Mary Louise Garcia, County Clerk; Lee Hayden, District Clerk; Ingrid Lira, Tax Office; Francis Parsons, Tax Office; Ruben Reyes, Sheriff Confinement; Peter Rizzo, Information Technologies; Tanya Spann, Sheriff Confinement; Celeste Wallace Vaughn, Domestic Relations; Raymond Whites, Sheriff Patrol; Michael Whistle, Sheriff Confinement. Let's give these 10-year employees a big round. Now for our 15-year employees: Vicki Doan, Tax Office; Rose Enrique, Tax Office; Tina Kaiser, Tax Office; John Pauley, Sheriff Confinement; Mark Tillman, District Attorney's Office; Stacy Turner, Sheriff's Record Management. I don't know if Mr. Phillips is going out to finding out what that knocking is about. But all of, and Debbie Williams, CSCD. Let's recognize these 15 years. Thank you for taking care of whatever the... Now for our 20-year employees: Angela Bishop, Public Health; Mary Espinoza, Juvenile Services; John Parker, Sheriff Warrants; Anthony Pollard, Information Technology. Let's recognize these 20-year employees. And now for our 25-year plus employees. We called, and I had a chance to talk with them. Our first one is Michelle Brown from Pretrial Services, 25 years with the county. Started out in the pretrial area and was actually hired by Hannibal Williams. He was the first director of that area. She got very involved with the National Association and was appointed as I guess, is one of your directors at large there. When I asked her what she liked a lot about the county, it was the people, the people, the people. When I asked her kind of what had happened over the last 5 years since last we talked, she said she, like many folks, say, boy, the time has just flown by. It's hard to believe that 5 years have transpired. She served as the president of the National Association of pretrial services for actually 4 years, and is now working on getting an association, a state association started within the state of Texas. Michelle, thank you very much for the 25 years you've given me. Next is Bob Hazlett. Bob and I go to the same church together, so I've known him for the longest time. He was actually hired as a jailer, served in the patrol, and then moved over into the Warrants area, and is now, well, he was at the 20-year mark. He was the liaison with the Fort Worth ISD, but since then, they've actually stopped doing that liaison program, and so he's now in the judicial area. He said when they, I'm reading back over what we noted at the 20-year mark, he said when he started in patrol, he was working with hand-drawn maps versus the technology that exists today. He said the people he's had a chance to work with have been absolutely fantastic. He's now working, you're working the security area out at Kimbrough Road, I believe now. So thank you again very much, Bob, for your 25 years. Next is David Mann, Sheriff Courts, 25 years. There's David back there. Like a lot of folks, he says, you know, y'all really don't need to recognize me. I'm just happy to have had a chance to work and to serve. He started out in the jail. He's been an instructor. He was in the Auto Theft Task Force under Walt West for a number of years, and now is serving in the courts area. Started with Sheriff Carpenter. He helped restart the Deputies Sheriff's Association in 1991. He said, you know, the time has flown by. He really enjoyed working, has really enjoyed working under Sheriff Anderson. He's gotten, in the last 5 years, he said, I've gotten remarried. He said, you know, after my first marriage, I didn't really think I would get remarried, but then he said he found the love of his life. He now has, he has 5 kids from 13 to 22. David, we appreciate very much the 25 years that you've given to Tarrant County. Thank you. Next is Greg Miller with the District Attorney's Office. Greg spent his whole time with the DA's office, actually interned while he was in law school, had been on the Fort Worth Police Department for about 14 years prior to going to law school, and now works as Deputy Chief in the Criminal Division. He said Tarrant County is absolutely just a fantastic place to work, wouldn't trade it for anything, said they couldn't drag him to anywhere else. Said the people are great. People don't get caught up with titles. They just really enjoy all working to move in the same direction. And he said that's something that I just cannot say enough about Tarrant County is that we don't have folks pulling and pushing and going in different directions. You know, since last we talked, Joe's become the DA. Mr. Shannon's become the DA now. Tarrant County remains a great place to work. He said, I feel like I'm supported by everybody who I've had a chance to work with. I guess your son's gotten married since then, and Greg, we just appreciate very much the 25 years you've given us. Thank you again. Next is Royce Rhodes with Facility Management. He's been with us for 25 years. Started out in the Sheriff's Department in the maintenance area, then County Services with Mr. McWright when the Sheriff's Department was, I guess the Sheriff's Department was combined with County Services in the facilities area. Currently works in the Technology Center. We just recently, I guess this was again 25 years ago, where when we were recognizing you for 20, your daughter was working in the district clerk's office. Now, I'm trying to remember, is your daughter still working for Tarrant County? 10 years. Has a brand new granddaughter who's about 5 months old since what's happened in the last 5 years. Still working, still really enjoy working for the county. Basically had always planned to come to work and to retire from Tarrant County. His youngest child is 12, oldest is 30, daughter, and it says right here, daughter working for the county. So if I read my notes, see, that's the disadvantage. Now, I know I didn't get that wrong. I'm sorry. Some things I can be accused of, but I would not have put that down. Now, Dad, don't throw me under the bus here. Some things just happen. We just forget, don't we, Royce? What Royce said is I'll look forward to being here again in 5 years for my 30th. And Royce, we're certainly looking forward to that too. Thank you for your 30 years. He's going to catch grief on that all day long. I can tell right now. I guess we're just not supposed to tell those kind of things, are we, Dad?
He keeps pointing his finger at you.
Well, I understand that, and I guess I'll take the blame on that. You know, I'm sure I just had a little slip of the finger when I was writing those numbers down there from that standpoint. Next is John Ross with Sheriff's Department in the courts area for 25 years. Started in the jail as a deputy, then went to the Resource Connection, and now works the door at the Justice Center. Memorable moments. And again, this goes back to something that we said at our last meeting when we were talking about the jail inspections and the way that he said, I treat people like they're people. And I think, as we deal with folks in the jail, I think that's extremely important. And I think that is a lot of the reason why folks, we don't have a lot of the problems. This man's a runner. You could look at him and tell that he certainly exercises. He's done the Boston Marathon 4 times.
Oh, my goodness.
He's run certainly in the marathons around here. He established the first Tarrant County marathon team. He's probably done over 20 marathons at this point in time. He's kind of on a mission right now to visit the various courthouses in Texas and has seen over 100 so far. Really tries to take a trip, I think, about once a month, I believe is what you said. His wife, I guess, is working now part-time in the district clerk's office. His oldest daughter, now he didn't tell me how old his oldest daughter is. Works for the Sheriff's Department in Parker County, and then has another daughter who works for the police department, Fort Worth Police Department. And he said it's the employees here at Tarrant County that really make this such a great place to work and to be a part of. John, we appreciate very much the 25 years you've given us. Now, next is Robin Espy with CSCD and spent 30 years with the county. Is Robin here? Wasn't sure was going to be able to make it down here. She's still having a great time. When you see her, thank her for the 30 years of service that she's given to Tarrant County. Next is J.W. McNeil, 30 years, Sheriff's Department in the patrol area. Started out in patrol in 1982, then was in the Warrants area, CID for a while, then back to the North Side Patrol, and has just recently moved over into the Warrants Division downtown. First started as a whim, and then the next thing you know, he's been here for 25 and now 30 years. He said it takes a lot of people to make things work, not just one. And, you know, we kind of talked a little bit about the fact that the county is such a great place, and the reason is it doesn't. It's not just one person. It's everybody kind of working together as a team. Over the last 5 years, he said that, you know, he lost his mother a couple of years ago. His dad's still alive in good health. He said, I love working for the county, and the employees have absolutely been great. JW, we appreciate very much the 30 years you've given us. Next is Debbie Snyder, 35 years with the company. Stand back up. Stand back up. I know you're old, but you can stand up. Lean on the rail a little bit there, and you'll be all right here. Now, some of these notes are from the 30-year conversation that we had. She actually started, and she got the job here.
She was 12.
Yeah, that too. But her uncle had passed away and had been at a funeral, and there she met this guy and said that he might know of a job if she needed one, and it was Jack Benson. And so she came to work for the auditor's office with Jack. She said, I started out at $3.35 an hour as a temporary accounts payable clerk, and then worked in the auditor's office until '89, and then became the first, when the budget office was started, she was the first and thus far only budget director. When I asked her about the memorable moments, it was, getting appointed to the new department. She said watching the first prisoners arrive at the correction center, and one of the first budget meetings with the sheriff and Jack Benson. I'm reading this thing now that I'm rereading this thing. And she said the reason that was such a memorable meeting is that Jack was giving his usual no answers when the sheriff leaned across the table and said, for $25, I could have you eliminated.
That was Jack.
No, it was the sheriff telling that to Jack.
Still true.
I didn't realize he was down there. Oh. That's right. Been through 4 judges, 19 commissioners, and at the 30-year mark, only 1 district attorney and now 2 district attorneys. Saw the Office of Treasurer abolished. Last 5 years, she now has 2 grandbabies, a boy and a girl. She's moved into a new house, but still has the old one, and is now having to clean it out because her daughter is coming back to the area and is going to move into the old house for a while, I believe. This year will celebrate her 30th budget that she's had a chance to work on with the county. Debbie, we can't tell you how much we appreciate the 35 years. The last individual this morning is Charles Vermish, 35 years with Juvenile Services. Charles actually started out with the adult probation through a federal grant in September of '76, and then moved over into the juvenile area, started out in the detention center, now has most of the field operations under his wing. Memorable moments was the change in technology, also having the opportunity to work in the different sections. When he started out, he started at $751 a month. That was the gross pay. He said, I've absolutely loved the time with the county. He said, I've loved the opportunity to work with kids versus the adults, because he said, through that work, I've had an opportunity to see them turn around. And again, in talking with a lot of the folks in that area, they'll recount stories of where someone who they've worked with has had an opportunity to turn themselves around and would come back and even mention to them how much they appreciated the opportunities and the way they were treated as they went through the process. Since last we talked, he still is in the same area, has 3 grandchildren. He said time has flown by. He's getting ready to retire on May the 31st. He said, I've seen a lot of friends retire, then have health issues, and he decided that it was time for him to retire so he could enjoy that retirement. He said, I have loved helping others achieve success. And I think Charles your wife is there with you. Would you have her stand? And again, we want to thank you for the 35 years that you've given it to him. Again, y'all are what makes this such a great place to live, to work, and to raise a family. And we say it, but we can't say it enough. And it's, but we say it from our hearts because, again, if it weren't for folks like you who are doing this job day in and day out, but never take it as a routine job, this place would not be such a fantastic place to work. So thank you very much. Do we have refreshments in 504C today?
Yes.
We have refreshments in 504C. And then we have hot dogs out on the lawn. So at this time, we'll recess for just a second and let y'all please vote. Motion passes unanimously. Mr. Manius?
Members of the Court, item 2 under the Administrator's section, we're requesting that the Commissioners' Court approve the issuance of Series 2012A Education Revenue Bonds by the Houston Higher Education Finance Corp. to Cosmos Foundation in the amount not to exceed $36,686,000 and execute the certificate that's attached. These monies are going to be used in Tarrant County and a bunch of other counties. This action is needed because of the expenditure of the funds in Tarrant County. They are to the Harmony Science Academy in Fort Worth, the Harmony Science Academy in Euless, and the Harmony School of Innovation in Fort Worth. This organization has attached a letter relating to our HUD participation. And also, we do have a letter that basically says that the property has no restrictions as it relates to either health or governmental activities.
Move approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously.
We go to item number 3. We're requesting that the court approve a letter of concurrence to the Foreign Trade Zones Board, allowing the Foreign Trade Zone application by TTI for facilities which are located at 2441 Northeast Parkway and 2601 Sylvania Cross Drive in Fort Worth, and approve the payment in lieu of taxes agreement between Tarrant County and TTI Incorporated.
Move approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Ms. Tidwell?
We have 2 items for the Commissioners Court to consider this morning. The first item is to ask that you receive and file the quarterly investment report for the period ended March 31st, 2012.
So moved. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously.
And our other item is to receive and file the Tarrant County financial statements for the period ended March 31st, 2012. We have to
So
answer your
moved.
questions.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously. Ms. Snyder?
Risk Management Board is recommending the approval of this claim that I don't ever remember discussing, but I'm sure we did because it says so. But
35 years.
it happened. I'm going, man, this doesn't even sound familiar.
It's been a while.
Move approval.
Thank you.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Glenn?
Good morning.
Good morning.
We only have one item for the court this morning. We're asking the court to receive and file the personnel agenda.
So move.
Second.
A motion and a second to receive and file the personnel agenda. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you.
Ms. Glenn. Ms. Brewer?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
We have one item for your approval this morning. This is a lease agreement with the University of North Texas Health Sciences Center. This is for office and clinic space in the Dr. Marion J. Brooks Building, Tarrant County Public Health.
Move approval.
Second.
A motion and a second. Any discussion? Please
What
vote.
are they going to do with it?
It's for their research grant
I see.
activity.
Okay.
Please vote. Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you.
Mr. Beecham?
Your Honor, the members of the court, we have 5 items for your consideration this morning. Our first item is a good order recommendation for RFQ number 2012-083. This is for professional architectural engineering services for various county projects for facilities management. Recommendation would be to award to the 30 architectural and engineering firms as shown in court communique.
Move approval.
Second.
A motion and a second. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously.
Number 2 item is a bid award recommendation for RFP 2012-076. This is our annual contract for Secure Access Control System Maintenance, our CHUB cards. Recommendation would be to award the primary vendor, Integrated Access Systems, and the secondary vendor, ATS. Carol.
Move approval. Second.
A motion and a second. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously.
Number 3 is also a bid award recommendation for bid number 2012-070. This is for the Robertson Road Improvement Concrete Services. Recommendation would be to award the low bidder, Reliable Paving, amount of $87,915. If this is approved, we're seeking contract approval and acceptance of the payment and the performance bond.
This is in lieu of buying right away, and it's about half of what the cost would have been had we had the right away. Move approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously.
Number 4 is a bid award recommendation for RFP 2012-032. This is for processing web and telephone requests for vital records for the county clerk's office. Recommendation would be to award per contract terms awarding to LexisNexis Vital Chat Network Incorporated.
Move approval. Second.
A motion is second. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously.
Last item is item in regards to bid number 2012-072. This is our contract for locksmith services and supplies. We are recommending rejection and asking permission to rebid with revised specifications.
So moved.
Second.
A motion is second. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jack. Commissioner Fickus.
Freeze down to that item.
Right here.
I got it. We're going to 27 purchasing areas. Okay, got an interlocal agreement. This is with the city of Colleyville for work on Jackson Road and Bandit Trail. Move approval of items O1, A, and B,
Second.
C, D, E.
I'll second all of that, all the way through that.
That seems to be motion creep.
Yeah, he was moving on, but I think the ultimate motion was 9O, A, 1A through F.
Yeah, and that includes also signalization participation at the city of Keller and the city of Westlake.
We have a motion and a second. Please vote. Motion passes unanimously. Appointments. I'm going to appoint Joe Padilla as a new member. I also have another individual, Teresa Desiree, who has resigned, so I've got another one that I'll have to. But Joe has gone through the background check, and so I'm move their appointment right now.
What?
So this is CPS.
This is Child Protective Services. I'm sorry.
Second.
We have a motion second. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously. Any other appointments? Then you have before you the claims, including the addendum.
Move to approve the claim register and the addendum.
Second.
We have a motion second to approve the claims, including the addendum. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously. Briefing items, Mr. Manius?
We do not have any to bring to the court at this time, Your Honor.
If, just as a note for folks to, in case you had not heard, Judy McDonald's mother passed away rather suddenly on on Friday. Was it Sunday? I'm sorry, Sunday. Janelle McDonald, and so you might remember her and keep her in your prayers. We'll now recess our open meeting and proceed to closed session to discuss items exempted under 551.07. 107. Wait a minute, 074, 07. Excuse me. I've got a better picture of them now. Having returned from our closed session, we'll now address the following matters.
Members of the court, if we could go to the Administrator Section A1, we're requesting that the court take action and approve the court orders correcting map errors to conform the election precinct boundaries, the county commissioner precinct boundaries, and the justice of peace boundaries to the actual Tarrant-Denton County line.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion to second. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously.
Item E1, we're requesting a motion, and I believe we've provided you all with the format that the motion must take with regard to condemnation.
I move that Tarrant County authorize the use of the power of eminent domain to acquire a fee simple interest in a 0.255 acre tract of land being a part of Lot 1 Hillside Estates addition to the city of South Lake in Tarrant County, Texas, for a public project known as FM 1938, FM 1709 to SH 114, State Highway 114, and authorize the Tarrant County District Attorney's Office to initiate said condemnation proceedings.
Second.
We have a motion second. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously. There being no further business, we are adjourned, and we'll meet down.
We're going to eat a hot dog first.